Hello, hello friends. It's Lori with Farmhouse Stencil Shop. I'm going to show you how to make these cute little flowers this evening. But these are so simple. And let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need some dowel rods, first of all, because that's your stem. And I sent Ian to get these for me, and he picked up two different sizes. He picked up a 5/8 and he picked up a 1/4 inch. So either size will work, but you don't want it to be too big. So you want it to be about pencil size. But these are really inexpensive. At Lowe's, they were only like $1.20 or something like that. So very, very inexpensive. And you can get 4 12-inch, cut them 12 inches, and that's like the perfect size for the stem. So you need dowel rods, you need jute twine, and you don't want to get the really thin twine. I was driving myself crazy because I normally use this really thin jute on things, and it was going to take me forever to use this. You want kind of like a medium, not a too big jute, but you can see it's like a little bit thicker. It's like a medium size. So you want jute, a Sharpie or something to draw with that you can write on fabric, maybe a fabric pen. And then you want some canning rings and lids. You want some of those. It's so simple. And I went and raided my grandpa's shed and found some old ones. So I got those ready to go. And then you, of course, need some burlap. And then you need different little fabric. I'm going to use this fabric next. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with showing you what I do with the stem. And I kind of like the 5/8. That's what I used on this one. So I'm going to use that again. So it's a little bit wider dowel. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this. So you need your hot glue. And I do have my hot glue gun going this evening. What I do when I start it is just put a little bit on the end and kind of hold it down here and then just start wrapping, because you're going to go back over that anyways. But you don't want the end of the jute to be sticking out. So it's pretty simple. Then you just can cover that up. You can probably even cover the very tip of it too, but I didn't mess with all that. So then you just start covering it up and twisting it. And then ever so far down, put a little bit more glue. I'm going to try not to burn myself tonight. I burnt myself last video. And then just keep covering it. Oops, I got my hands backwards here. There we go. You can just like twist it though, and it covers it pretty easily that way. Hi, Holly. It's your first time watching? Well, thank you for coming on. Where are you watching from? I always like to learn where people are watching from. So today was a pretty busy day for me, so I don't usually come on this late. I started coming on about 6:30 on Sundays. I used to come on at 7, but I thought I would start coming on a little bit earlier, so I come on at 6:30 Central on Sundays. And Holly's from Buffalo, New York. Well, welcome. Thank you for watching. Is that a Gorilla Glue gun, Kelly? I have no idea. It doesn't have Gorilla Glue in it. Is that what they look like? I have no clue. I'm not very fond of this glue gun, but if that's what it is, maybe I just need some Gorilla Glue sticks. So I thought, I was busy working on our raised flower beds, or not, I keep saying flower beds, but they're garden beds, raised garden beds. So we were doing that today because our weather is really wonderful right now. We went from that really cold weather to, I think it was close to 60 today, so it's been pretty nice. So we weren't hesitating to get outside and get things done. And then Ian made chicken wings this evening. So that was nice that he made dinner. So then when you get to the end of it, then flip it around the other way and continue wrapping it. You only use Gorilla Glue, Vicky? I feel like I need to get me one. 66 sounds pretty good, Sandy. So I'm almost to the end here, so I'm going to put some more glue. Gosh, these are so easy. Like anybody could do this. But what I do when I get to the end here is wrap it around a couple of times, and then I'm going to actually glue this side on the end of the flower. So I'm going to put this where it's not going to be seen anyways. I'm going to wrap it around a couple more times, and then I'm going to cut it off. So then my stem is nice and covered. If you're just jumping on, we are making these cute little flowers tonight, kind of like burlappy sunflowers. So the end of it, you always want to stick that on the back of the flower under the glue, like where it will not show up. Okay, so I have my 3 stems. Now the next thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to take my fabric, and I picked out some cute little fabrics that I like. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to take my canning lid, and I'm just going to eyeball it and make a larger circle. You want your circle to be bigger than this. If you can find something that's quite a bit bigger, then if you have something you can just trace around, that would be easy. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and make a larger circle that's probably about an inch, or at least a half an inch, but I'd say an inch would be good, around your canning lid. You see I drew a circle. Can't really see it on this one, but the next fabric you will be able to. I drew it bigger than my lid. So then I'm just going to cut that out. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I can't see. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything because it's going to be hidden. All right. I was going to cut out my other fabrics, but I'll come back to them. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start gluing this around. I'm going to glue the fabric around. Hey, Penny, how are you? You made it, girl. Thanks for coming on. Now, if I can do this without getting burnt. I do have these little things, but I don't know. I'm probably going to wish one day that I could get used to using them, but so far I'm not good at using those. So you just kind of glue it and pull it tight around there so it's not really loose. Hey, Teresa, how are you? So easy, though. And I'm not getting burnt, so that's good. And there's my friend Alyssa. How are you tonight? Thank you for coming on. So I have my my jar lid covered, just like that, nothing perfect. And then I'm going to take my burlap, and I want my squares to be 5 inches. So 5 inches by 5 inches, basically. So I already have this cut almost 5 inches this way, but I didn't really measure it out. So I'm just going to make a little dot so I can see where I need to cut it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And you guys probably know this, but there's a trick to cutting burlap. So if you find this spot, I'm just going to share this for those of you who might not know this little trick. But so you find the spot that you need to cut it at, and then you can find that one little piece of burlap and pull it out. There we go. And once you pull it out, it leaves like a spot in your burlap. Can you see that right there? And then that's where you know to cut. Just a little trick for those of you who don't know that. And then you can go right on that line and cut your burlap there. And you have your burlap cut in a perfect little square. Well, mine's not perfect because this side's not perfect, but I'm going to kind of fray it anyways. That's the easiest way I figured out how to do that. So did you guys already know that tip or not? You just kind of pull it out where you want to cut it and then just cut it in that spot. It's a great little tip. So if you're messing with burlap, it's a handy thing to know. You're welcome. Well, good. I'm glad you guys didn't know that. And then you can pull off some of the edge of the burlap to make it look a little better. Okay, so then you're going to take your 2 pieces of burlap and you're going to lay them like that. Simple enough, right? You guys see what I'm doing? Good, I'm so glad you guys didn't know that. And then you're going to take your canning ring, lay it over your canning ring, take your lid, and you're just going to pop your lid into the middle of it. So simple. I don't want it to be like off-centered though. I kind of want it to be looking nice here. It's a little bit tough. You're not going to want to use more than 2 pieces of the burlap because you will never get it popped into your canning lid. It just wouldn't work. But the 2 pieces you can. Hang on, it's a little tough. I got to kind of really push it in there. There we go. You have to force it in because you have the fabric and you have the 2 pieces of burlap. So it makes a really tight fit. I'm not. Actually, this burlap, you might want to get regular burlap. This was burlap that I'm trying to use up from it's like a big roll of ribbon. I don't even see it right now. But I think I've showed it before. It has I'm going to have to pop this back out because, let's see. It was off-centered. You don't want it off-centered. It's like a big roll of ribbon that I need to use up. So it is a little stiffer than normal. Yes. I thought I had some regular burlap, but I don't. And plus my canning rings are old. Well, a couple of them are. That might be it too. Okay. So anyways, once you get it popped in there, it's not wanting to go though for some reason. Not laying flat, but anyways, you have the idea. That side's still sticking up. Let's see if I can get something and force it in there. You don't want it to stick up like that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so from the back, it just looks like that. You don't see any of that other fabric or anything. So. Hold on, I'm catching up on comments here. Yep, I picked up some rusty ones out of my grandpa's shed. So, but then I have this one that's not so rusty. So I hope that my mom doesn't get upset with me for using the good canning rings. But he did give me some new lids because we couldn't find lids. So my grandpa did give me some lids. So those are new. So try to not use your brand new ones or anything. If you have older ones, save them for this project. Oh, okay. So I'll show you because I'm about to make another one. So the fabric for the middle, all I did was I took the lid. I'm going to use this one for this, and I'm just going to cut a little piece off the corner. I have lots of this kind of fabric, so I thought this brown color would be good. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm just placing it on the corner, and you want to go about 1 inch bigger than your lid, or you can see I'm just taking a Sharpie and just kind of eyeballing it. But if you can find like maybe a cereal bowl would be a good size. I'm just kind of making a circle around it like that. So you just want to go about 1 inch bigger than your ring, or than your lid, I'm sorry. The burlap is 5 inches by 5 inches, so you just need little 5-inch squares. So your dowel rod is 12 inches long for your stem, and then your little fabric is going to be 1 inch bigger than your lid, and then your burlap is 5 inches by 5 inches. And it makes a pretty good size little flower that way. So I'm done with that one. I'm also going to use this green fabric. I wish I had like some yellow, but I didn't have any yellow. So I'm just going to use this. I cut all kinds of things with these scissors, so they're not wanting to cut my fabric well. I don't sew, so I don't really have fabric scissors. But I almost need some for this project because I can't hardly cut it. I feel like I have something sticky on my scissors. He really hasn't been cutting anything. That's for sure. I just don't have any fabric scissors, but that worked though. I got it. We're all good. So then you take your little piece of fabric. That one's kind of curling up on me. Okay. And now I'm going to just glue it. Oh, good to know, Alyssa. Maybe I'll have to get me a pair. The Fiskars are the best, huh? Thank you, Vicky. I got another one, and then I'll just glue this one. So my sister-in-law said that I should be able to do these crafts really quickly. But it's not easy when you're doing a live video and you're trying to like talk about it. Usually if you're crafting and you're not talking to people and doing all that, you might be able to craft faster, but I hope you all don't mind. Joann's. I I would love to have a coupon for Joann's and go, but there's no Joann's around here. I think the closest one is like 50 miles away. So I rarely get to. But I got some of, last time that I went there, though, I got a lot of this cute homespun fabric there. They have quite the good selection of fabric. Can you all hear the TV in the background by chance? Can you hear that? I can hear my husband's TV upstairs. I hope that you guys cannot hear the TV going in the background. Okay, so I'm going to take my burlap and I've already figured out 5 inches this way, so I'm going to measure it again and see where I want to cut it. And I'm just making a little dot because I don't want a lot of that on the fabric. So I'm doing the 5 inch by 5 inch squares. And if you're just hopping on and didn't see this little tip, I explained that if you find where you want to cut your burlap and you take that one little piece out, you can cut your burlap. It'll leave like a little line. So I'm going to find it. I can get a hold of it here. There we go. And then you just pull that out. It should pull out really easily. And then it leaves that little line there. If you guys can see the little line that it left right there. So it leaves like a perfect little line so you can see where to cut. It's a little bit difficult. I still have fingernails on this hand. I broke every fingernail on my other hand, on my left hand. So I have longer nails on this hand, shorter nails on this hand. So then you can easily cut your little 5 inch squares. 5 inch is a good length. 6 inch would be too long and 4 inch is too small. But the 5 inch works out really good. So you definitely don't want to cut them too small. I'm going to go ahead and cut my last two while I'm at it. What am I cutting off the edge of the burlap? This was like, the edge of this was like this ribbon that, I think they use it for like weddings, maybe. It was this really long piece of burlap that has lace down the middle of it. And I've had it for a long time and I'm just using the burlap from it. So I'm cutting off the edge of the ribbon because it's gathered. It's like sewn from it being actual ribbon, and I don't want that to be like that on the flower. So I'm cutting that part off. Does that make sense? I'll show that again. Once you pull those out, it leaves that little line. And you can just cut that right where you need to cut it. So that will help you get your little squares perfect. I like to pull some off the edge though to make it look nice. Yeah, you could do that. You could make some kind of ribbon or bow around your vase. So then you take your 5-inch squares and place them together like that. Really simple. And there is Brandy from Lake Farm Primitives. Thank you for coming on, and thank you so much, my friend. I like my little workspace too. My husband helped me make this little workspace. So then you take your canning ring. Hopefully this one will be easier than the last one. Lay that over the top and then just pop in the center. The last one was a little difficult, but like I was saying, if you have way too much fabric, they will be hard to push in the center. So you kind of just have to pop it in there. And I'm using burlap ribbon, so it's a little bit thicker than regular burlap. And I'm going to have a problem with this one too. Let me pop it back out. Because when I start doing that, it starts getting off-centered, and you don't want it to be off-centered. And you start pushing it in there. Go in there, you little thing. There we go. So the back of it will look like that. You're not going to see that, of course. And there's the front of the flower. And then you can take and actually like fray the corners of your petals. I kind of like to loosen them up a little bit, make them more frayed. But they're not perfect looking. And I kind of did that one on, or did the same on this one. I don't think I did it to every corner yet. Thank you guys for giving me hearts. I appreciate that so much. This one, I think I got it a little off-centered, but that's okay. I'm just going to go with it. It's because it was so tight when I was pushing it in there, but it might be because I'm using the ribbon. And it is, if you notice, it is really close together. So I would recommend getting regular burlap. I'm just using this because that's what I have on hand. So use the regular burlap so it'll pop in your rings better for you. So last one here, and then I'll just glue them on my stems. Go in there. It's weird for me to craft and not be stenciling. Thank you, Penny. Thanks, Renee. I'm glad you like them. And Kim, thank you. I'm glad that you think they're cute. This one went in better, but it's kind of wonky looking. You can always stretch it around and all that. All right. But I think it's cute if you make the different colored centers, you know? You don't want them, I guess you could do them all the same. I like a variety. Thank you, Joy. So yeah, I think they're cute. I have so many crafts that I need to go restock my booth with. My crafts are piling up. I have all kinds of signs and all kinds of stuff piled up that I need to take to my booth. Okay. So I'm going to put the stems on. So you want to find where you had your, like the one end will look perfect and the other end will not look so perfect. So you want to hide that flaw on the back. So which way do I want to put this? I'm going to put it right in the middle of that petal. Okay. So you want to hide that flaw. So make sure the end of your jute is covered in glue so you can hide it. And then just glue it on. These are really cute, stuck down in a vase, but I haven't figured out a way to put any kind of like petals on them. I don't think that you need petals. They're just pretty unique the way they are. But it makes a cute little flower. And then the back looks like that. Pretty simple. Two more and I'll be done for the evening. Thank you for coming on midweek with me. I know I'm usually coming on Sunday nights, so this is a little bit different. I'm going to hide that flaw and stick that there. Just don't want that jute to be sticking out. What do you guys think? They would look cute that way. I've seen different kinds of little flowers that you can make with the canning rings. So this is just the only kind I've ever made. Oh, thank you, Maureen. You're so sweet. Thank you, Deb. I appreciate that. So you want to hide that last flaw. Just stick a bunch of hot glue on there. Thanks, Brandy. I did catch part of your live video, Brandy. I went and watched it. I watched it while I was working earlier, but I didn't catch the whole thing, so I need to go back and finish it. Such a sweet voice you have, my friend. And your little setup is so cute, too. Is that like in a crafting workshop, or are you in like your kitchen? I couldn't tell if you were crafting in your kitchen or where you were, but it was such a cute background. I was like, oh, I love her decor. Kim, I just used a regular vase. It wasn't a special looking vase, but you probably need something cute. It probably would look really cute in like a stone crock or something, you know? Something like that would be cute. Oh, it's your kitchen. Okay, I was wondering. That is such a cute kitchen. You have a very cute kitchen. So, okay, so these are the flowers. 3 I made tonight. And 1 that I made before the video. Excuse me. This one. So I used like a sage green on that one. And then this one was black. And then I used brown. And then the green. So yeah, so simple and easy. Such an easy little craft. And then you could even like sell them at a craft show or in your booth or something and price them at a few dollars each. And that's what I did before, and I sold all the ones that I made. So they're just so cute, you know? So I don't even know how to hold them though, because they're just kind of awkward like this. They need to be placed in a vase or something because they're hard to hold like this. But yeah, I think they are very cute. Let me get these glasses off so I can see my phone from far away. Thank you guys. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you all, and I see you later. Love you guys. Bye-bye.